Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome back to Sir Being Hunted. It is episode 600, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here for a bit of a Q&A session, aren't we, you two? We got Phil and Connor here. Phil, how you doing?
I'm not too. Yes, 600. Oh my God, we've reached another milestone. My God, how have you got this far? And why isn't Big? Oh, it's not Big Robot anymore. It's Den of Thieves. Why haven't they given you like a prize, a trophy to put in your room for the amount of episodes you've done?
Well, that was my reward in terms of getting invited to a dev stream that one time.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But yes, we've done a few. We've done a few ourselves, 3, 4, and 500. But now we've got Connor with us as well.
There he is. How you doing over there, Connor?
I'm great. I'm just surprised you still haven't been hunted yet.
I know. Well, I've been hunted several times in this game already, but
We don't talk about that,
no, we don't. It's not canon, ladies and gentlemen. All the times whenever I failed at this game, that's not canon. The only canon ones are when I've actually succeeded. But yeah, you two ready for a bit of a questioning, a bit of a grilling on a whole range of topics?
And answering. You like to answer as well.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, we like we like our Q&As, don't we? Well, originally we were planning to do something. We were going to do something different, but since we've now got Connor for a third one, it makes it even more interesting.
Indeed, yes. Though I still have no idea what I would do differently for, say, like episode 700 or something like that. Assuming, it gets to episode 700 before Reinvented Edition comes out for this game and all that.
But still, there's still that. What is the progress on that at the moment?
I don't know. It's been very quiet. I'm sure there may well be information on the Steam forums or something that would probably enlighten one as to whereabouts that is. But who knows? Yes, we'll see. Oh, God, just transferred my binoculars to the wrong inventory. There we are. All right, put those like that. Okay, ready to start then? Because I've got them here printed out on some sheets of paper in front of me. So, a few people have commented in response to my call for questions, and a few of those have mainly sort of given multiple questions for us to go through. So there's plenty for us to get our teeth into. So we'll start with 5 questions from Luke Kelly. These are all reasonably sort of different to one another. First one is, would you ever do an Indiana Jones game on the channel? And that question is technically slightly out of date already, because I am doing one at the moment. Yeah. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb series at the moment. As of when we record this, it's up to episode 5. So it's going really, really well, and I'm enjoying it a lot so far. It's a good sort of nostalgia blast for me to come back and play that, since it's been, God, well, last time I must have played it must have been in my teenage years, and it's just a nice solid game on the whole.
Were you inspired by the question to play
it? Yeah. What about you two? You ever played any Indiana Jones games? Phil, I don't think you have you?
How do you know? You don't know my life. Excuse me.
I don't, but I'm willing to wager.
This is my life. No, I haven't really played any Indiana Jones. I think I've come once where I think I came around once when we was younger, and you had like a demo of one.
Yes, it was Emperor's Tomb.
Emperor's Tomb, yeah, I remember seeing that. But it's funny how they said, "Are you going to play?" I'm already playing one.
Yeah,
I'm already playing one, mate. God, get with the times.
Well, that's how long ago I actually gave out the the call for questions. Must have been at least a couple of weeks before I started that playthrough. But yeah, that's the answer to that question, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, interesting note is you didn't ask Connor.
Yeah, Connor. What about
Connor
you?
Played any Indiana Jones?
I have, yeah. I have played. Well, I purchased Lego Indiana Jones on the Wii in order to jailbreak it.
Right.
In terms of the actual game, no, I didn't play it.
He owns, but he hasn't played one of them. Then
it had like
it's an interesting franchise, isn't it? Like, I know that it's still going. There's been a latest movie, hasn't there?
Oh,
the
yes.
actual movie franchise. Yes.
Dial of Destiny.
How the hell is Harrison Ford still going?
It's all AI in now.
It's AI Harrison.
That's it. Which was is it Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that was one of the worst ones, or not very well received at all? I think it was.
Yeah, that was like the 4th one, I think, that one.
Yeah, that was the one actually that me and you, Phil, went to see at the cinema in Blackpool years and years ago. Do you remember?
I do remember. Yeah, so
yes.
we did go to see that. Yeah, it wasn't very well liked. I think one of the top ones is it Temple of Doom is probably one of the
I think Raiders of the Lost
top-
Ark is the top one. Temple of Doom is the one that at the time it came out, I think people were like kind of about it, but in retrospect, I think a lot of people do like it now.
It is a
yeah.
very good film.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
There you go. I was wondering when the theme tune would come up.
Oh, it's iconic, isn't it? Really.
Yes. So yeah, but having said that, people have pointed out that there are some even older Indiana Jones games apparently available on GOG. I think Fate of Atlantis, which is like an old point-and-click one, I believe is available on GOG. I think there was possibly a point-and-click version of Last Crusade, which might be available on GOG as well. So who knows? Maybe I'd have to have a look. I do own Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine on Steam, but I did a bit of testing with it. It's being a very old game from like the late 90s and whenever it came out, it is a bit temperamental. So I'm going to keep trying to see if I can get it working, but it's not that the game doesn't run, it's just it seems to be a bit temperamental with modern recording softwares and things like that. So who knows?
Interesting that, because
Yeah.
you can work with Claw and Half-Life and things like
Yeah.
that, and they're all 1990s games.
It's weird how some just do function and others don't. It's very strange, games from that kind of period. So yeah, that's a bit of an Indiana Jones game chat right there, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Kelly's second question, do I have any more World War II shooters on the list of things to play on the channel? And the simple answer to that is yes, absolutely, I do. In fact, in another couple of days after this video goes out, I will be starting a playthrough just to replace RTCW again, since I've come to a point with that series again where I don't have anything new to do with it, so I'm going to be putting it on temporary hiatus. And the game in question is going to be Call of Duty Vanguard. I'm going to be playing that one. So yeah, you got that to look forward to, definitely.
Oh, more World War II.
Yes.
Um,
Everybody seems to love it here on the channel and all that.
It's good to have that because it's a very sort of, I will say, it's a very sort of done to death genre,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is.
World War II.
It has been, yeah.
Yeah.
As well as zombies. That's a big thing as well. Yeah, World War II and zombies are the two things in video games that are, I must say, a bit overly done. I mean, saturated to the point, like where a drain when it's been raining too much and it floods.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You've
getting.
angered me. You've angered me, Phil.
Halfway up.
Say zombie games have been overdone.
Oh.
I internally fuming. They're like my favourite genre of games.
More oversaturated than overdone.
There's just not many good ones. That's the problem. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I will 100% agree with you. Yeah, there's some absolutely cracking ones, and there's some ones that are below the bottom of the barrel.
What you don't know, Phil, is that Connor is sat in his room at the moment. He's just got wall-to-wall plastered with posters of Dead Rising, and God
Dead
knows what else.
Rising's like my favourite game, so...
Oh, that's a good guess then. There we go.
Yeah.
That was a good guess. Good old
Yeah.
No, I like Dead Rising. Yeah,
We'll ignore Dead Rising 4, though.
I was going to say, though...
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
bad things about Dead Rising 4.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you wanted, if you wanted the double whammy oversaturation, you could have World War II zombie games like modern Call of Duties with World War II and zombie modes.
With survival and crafting.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, I wonder what other game has got zombies, survival, and crafting in it.
Oh.
Maybe it begins with M and ends with T. And is quite yes, it's full of radiant blocks.
Mist.
I knew you'd get it.
Lego
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah. That's it.
My
Lego
mind
zombies.
was going
Begins
very
with
fast.
My Lego.
Malego. Yeah. But apart from Call of Duty Vanguard, I do have other World War II shooters that I do want to play at some point on the channel. Battlefield 5, I have that on Steam. I have...
Ooh, that's good.
yeah.
That's a good one I've heard.
Yeah.
Not Battlefield 2042, but that
No.
one is...
And also, I have quite a few of the Sniper Elite games that I do want to play as well. I have
the one where you can shoot
Elite-
Hitler in the testicles.
Yes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Army trilogy, right?
Oh, there we are. Zombies. Oh god, just when you think you got away from them, they come back immediately.
We'll play the co-ops. Zombie Army trilogy.
But yeah, I've got Sniper Elite V2 remastered, and then 3, 4, and 5, I think it was, which I've managed to sort of get steadily over the months as they go on offer at various times on Steam. So yeah, you got those to look forward to potentially on the channel, ladies and gentlemen.
What about What about Battlefield 1? Now that's a
Battlefield
World
1.
War One shooter,
Yeah.
but that's supposed to be really good as well.
I've had people suggest that one to me before, and yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good, so that's definitely another one I would be interested in. I mean, the thing is, people have asked me about all kinds of shooters, particularly as well, like some of the Call of Duty games that are saying like the more modern and futuristic settings, and yeah, they're a possibility. I don't make any guarantee in terms of whether I play them, but I don't know, if ever I felt like I didn't have anything else, then there's certainly something that I would consider. But having said that, I've got so many other games that I want to get through that if I was to get around to them, I don't envisage myself doing so for quite a while. But yeah, but people have been asking again if I'd ever played the BioShock games on the channel. I desperately need to go and play those at some point. So when I've got things like that and other ones, yeah. Yeah, Luke Kelly's third question, number 3. Of all the games you've played on the channel, do you have a least favourite? I think also for you two, we'll sort of make this a general question as well in terms of like what is the least favourite game you've ever played and all that. But for me on the channel, I mean, I've probably talked about it before, but it would probably be something like Outlast. Probably that, just given that it didn't really tick the right boxes for me. It's not that the game was necessarily bad, it just didn't really appeal to me all that much. So yeah, that's my quick sort of answer to that. What about you guys? Do you have a least favourite game that you've ever played? Connor, what about you?
One.
You haven't one?
So, PlayStation 3. It's called Naughty Bear.
Naughty Bear.
And I bought this based on a friend's recommendation before it had released, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. It was such a terrible game.
You're no longer friends anymore.
Yeah, I don't talk to this guy anymore.
Yeah.
But it seems the critics agreed with me that it's a dreadful game, and I promptly traded it in.
Nice.
I can't remember what I bought instead, but I remember it being 1,000 times better.
I was going to
say, Andrew, what about Nikita?
Oh, Nikita, yeah.
Or even worse than Outlast and Nikita put together, living in a glass house, for God's sake.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was a bad one, that was.
I mean, you can't even class that as a game, really, can you?
No, it was just someone's attempt at a game, and it wasn't particularly well made. But Nikita is another one that probably one of my least favourite games that I have played. I played it because obviously it was like Captain Claw's spiritual successor in a sense, and so I felt like it would be interesting to play it, not because it's a good game, but because it's just kind of poorly made. It's not that the game was kind of objectively bad in the sense that it didn't work. It did function. It was a game that needed way more polish, and it's just amazing that was released in 2008, but clearly still uses technology and hasn't been polished since its original development in the late 90s.
Like a shoe that's got a bit too dirty.
Yes.
Needed that extra bit of polish. Yeah.
Indeed.
I'll tell you what I hate. Every single Final Fantasy game. My God, why would they go and make something like that? What an awful set of games.
You're on a fine line, Phil.
Triggered.
I was about to say, are you just deliberately trying to trigger Connor at this point?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
No. I know I want to play Final Fantasy because I've looked at some playthroughs, some lists and stuff, and it looks really good. It looks properly amazing.
Yeah.
But
I was just going to say though, but in terms of if you had to pick a least favourite game, and bear in mind when it says least favourite, it doesn't necessarily mean a game that you thought was bad. It could just be one that maybe it just didn't really grab you. Something like that.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Oh, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't really grab me as much as the first two games in the Lara Croft Tomb Raider reboot were good. The 2013 one, and then obviously Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was the second one, which I think that one was released in 2015, and then Shadow was in 2018. But yeah, it didn't have quite the appeal on me on that one. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame because. That's probably one of the least ones I didn't really enjoy too much.
Yeah, like I say, by the sounds of it, it's not that you hated it; it just didn't really grab you and all that. Indeed.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Fourth question from Luke Kelly: what type of music do you like? I think me and Phil we've kind of answered this question before in past Q&As, but just me very quickly to sort of kind of quickly sum up. I have kind of a bit of an well, my sort of music tastes are a bit sort of eclectic. I have certainly, favourite areas, like classical, bit of jazz, bit of easy listening, things like that, as well as, the odd sort of song from other genres like rock and stuff like that that I do enjoy. Yourself, Phil?
Yeah, so I know I've said before. Again, I've got a very eclectic mix. Mine is like severely varied, like severely. I'll basically listen to anything. I like film scores, video game themes, music from the 1950s all the way to the present day, all of that stuff. Trance music, techno, all that sort of stuff. That's my favorite. That's what I listen to. I mostly love it all the latest like musics, things like that. And it ranges all through that, so it's like really varied. The only one I really can't stand too much is what's called like the screamo,
Oh, yeah.
hardcore like heavy metal, I suppose.
Yeah. But Connor, since you're new, what are your music
Ooh.
tastes?
Very similar to Phil with the video game music. Listen to a lot of pop punk music from like 90s, 2000s. I dabble in a bit of screamo stuff, but not like where it's just pure noise. But
How do they not hurt their vocal cords with that?
They do.
That's what I
That's the
want to know.
problem.
Yeah, it must. It's like with boxers. Obviously, they get their heads pummeled in all the time.
A lot of sort of the old heavy screamo bands and things have transitioned their music into more melodic things. So you'll
nice.
find that with bands like Bring Me the Horizon and things, the newer stuff is a bit less on the heavy side. But it's all good nonetheless.
Sounds good.
That's a nice range there. What about both of your guys' least favourite music sort of genres as well? Add that one to the mix.
I think probably for me, and this isn't because I dislike it, it's just because it's not something that necessarily appeals. There's a lot of like just sort of kind of very sort of popular music, which I just don't really know or just don't really go for. So that'd probably be my answer to that one.
I'm trying to think for me. Probably like old metal.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't appeal to me. Maybe that's because I didn't listen to it growing up.
Perhaps, yeah. I think it's interesting, somehow, well, when people's music tastes are kind of shaped by their younger years and what they just sort of remember well. And then you have someone like me who's just a complete oddity who never actually listened to music all that much as a kid anyway, and more sort of discovered his music tastes when I was older. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can.
Strange, isn't
It change. I know it changes as you form as well. I mean,
Yeah.
my Spotify playlist is just a random mix of collection of all sorts of music. That don't fit with one another. Like because I put it on shuffle. Like
Yeah.
1 minute it's like the main theme to Skyrim, and then the next it's like Maroon 5 coming on. Like whoa, they aren't linked at all.
Yeah. Some contrast between musical styles there. I like it, yeah. And we'll come to Luke Kelly's final question of his 5 now. So, have you ever played the History Channel games? I'll be honest with you, I was unaware the History Channel even did games.
History Channel's got games.
Apparently,
What
yeah.
on earth?
Yeah.
Blimey, that would be, I suppose they would probably fall into the edutainment games. I reckon because they'd probably
Possibly.
be like learning games. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's going to be part of the History Channel.
Indeed. Maybe I'll have to Google that later and see if I can find out more information. You never know, you might discover, well, I might discover a bit of like a hidden gem or something like that.
Or it's like the Dorling Kindersley games.
Oh, yeah,
They
remember
were
those?
good. Oh my god. I loved those. Did you play those, Connor? Any of the Dorling Kindersley games?
No, I don't think I did. The one that came to mind when you mentioned the History Channel games was there was like this maze game on Encarta or something.
Oh.
Encarta 98, and it was like a
Oh,
maze
God,
game.
yeah.
And
I
when you
remember
like
that.
moved around rooms, you got asked like historical questions,
Okay.
and you like
Oh,
lost
that does
lives
seem
if you've got them
familiar.
wrong. Used
Yeah.
to play that at school all the time and in the library and things.
Yeah.
They are good edutainment games. I do like the Dorling Kindersley. I used to have the I Love Science. That was the one I had. I used to love that I Love Science. It was so good because it did the biology, chemistry, and physics, but there was interesting characters in it as well. I even went back actually to look at it on YouTube because someone had actually done a playthrough of it, and it was really. There was also I Love Maths, which I didn't have, but I think a friend had, and I had a look at that as well. But yeah, some of the and I also had the what was it called? There was a Dorling Kindersley sort of like encyclopedia game. I can't remember what it was called now.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I mean, I've talked about Dorling Kindersley games before here on the channel. When I was a kid, I had a couple of them. I had one that was Dino Hunter, which I didn't actually really play all that much. But then I had Castle Explorer, which was the one I did play a lot more of. But yeah, they were kind of encyclopedia sort of games. A lot of learning involved.
There was a lot of learning,
Yeah.
and for more about there is a Say Being Hunted episode called Dorling Kindersley Games. So there you
Indeed.
go if they want to learn more about that.
Yes, learning about learning games. There you are. You can go and,
Edutainment
look at
games, that's where it's at.
Yeah, that's the one. Right, so yeah, we don't. In summary, in answer to that question, we don't know of any of the History Channel games, but maybe we'll have to Google that and find out what they are. You never know. Like I say, there might be a diamond in the rough there somewhere, something that would be hilariously entertaining to take a look at sometime. So that's Luke Kelly's questions done and out of the way. We now come on to someone else. Someone, who is it? Who's next? Let me look at my sheet of paper. Next up, we have a single question from Kevin Valley. Are you interested in doing any RTS games on the channel? Simple answer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's one of your it's one of your favourite genres.
It
isn't
is,
of
yeah.
video game.
When I
Yeah.
was a teenager, yeah, I certainly had a few RTS games that I used to absolutely love playing back in the day, like the Age of Empires games and Command and Conquers and things like that. And the simple answer to that question is absolutely yes. I do want to, not just RTS, but strategy in general. I kind of want to maybe get back to doing a bit more of those too. So that could be RTS games from established franchises that I've played before. Because the thing is, like, people have sometimes asked me, would I ever do, for example, like Age of Empires games, so like AoE 2, the original one, or even AoE 3, or perhaps even AoE 4, the one that came out a couple of years ago. And the answer to that is absolutely. I would be up for playing those ones, for instance. But another idea I did have was maybe one day doing like a third season of my silly old strategic campaign, as it was called, and maybe just like doing a series of one-off videos looking at demos for upcoming RTS and strategy games available on Steam. So that's certainly a possibility, is the answer to that question. What about yourselves?
There's a lot of good ones, isn't there? RTS
Yeah.
isn't one of the biggest? Is it StarCraft?
StarCraft,
Yeah,
yeah.
I used
Yeah,
to play that all the
quality.
time.
Ah, so we've got a StarCraft player in the room here. What was it
Uh,
like?
Not anymore, but it
No.
was pretty good fun.
Yeah.
There were a lot of sweaty players, so you just get wiped out in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they're on
But
all
I-
day, aren't they? 24/7. Yeah.
I used to do like the 4v4
Oof.
team mode with some friends of mine, and we got pretty high ranked.
Ah.
But I don't think it was me who was doing doing well. I think it was my teammates carrying
Yeah.
me.
They were doing the heavy lifting then, were they? Yeah.
Yeah, so I just hid behind my 3 teammates whilst they did all the work.
It's funny because I remember, like, back in the day, and this would have been 2003, when I played Command and Conquer Generals. I had a friend who also played it, and he used to do a bit of multiplayer on that, and he said, yeah, it's insane. Like, some people are just ridiculously good at it. Where it's like, 5 minutes in, they've already got about 4 bases established, and it's like, how the hell are you doing this?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get some real decent players, don't you? It's like with the things when you log onto a multiplayer server on like Counter Strike or Team
Ugh.
Fortress or
Yeah.
something, and they're like you're just getting annihilated. You like can't even see the shots coming. Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Isn't there there's a subgenre of RTS games called I think it's called the 4X, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4X games. Yeah.
4X games are like Civilization and things like that, where it's like
Yeah.
an isometric grid.
Yeah.
Civilization games are good. I've seen them. They're good, but where you can take you can go from all the way from a caveman to being a spaceman, upgrading all the way to being a spaceman in flying, big galactic ships.
Indeed. It'd be funny though if, you're playing a match of Civilization and you are the most technologically advanced civilization in the game. You have access to nuclear weapons and God knows what else, and your opponent is still sort of middling around in the medieval era or something.
Take this, Gandhi.
Oh dear.
Yeah, oh yes, there was a famous bug, wasn't there, with Gandhi,
Yeah,
where
just-
he was apparently so peaceful, but his limit figures rolled back, so he became the most vicious person ever.
keep the nuclear weapons away from Gandhi.
Yeah, don't do that. It had a very good. I think it was Civilization 4 that had a very good theme. It was Baba Yetu, I think it was.
Oh,
Was the main
that,
theme.
yeah.
Yeah, which was it was sung in Swahili as well, which very cool song.
I just have memories of, I think it's Lewis Brinley of the Yogscast singing that during a karaoke stream and absolutely butchering it.
Oh yeah, Baba Yetu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did it? What parts of Africa is it that speaks Swahili? I think they do in Kenya and Ethiopia. I'm trying to think what other place in Africa
Yeah.
speaks Swahili.
I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure we're talking East Africa somewhere where Swahili is. Well, actually, there's a whole region, isn't there, called the Swahili Coast. It spans a few countries, so it'll be that sort of area in East Africa. Not that really narrows it down for you, but there you go. My limited knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, of African languages.
I've just thought Populous as well. Populous as well is an RTS.
Yeah, that's
isn't
an
it?
RTS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. It's Populous.
I love
Indeed.
that game.
Yeah.
Good old
Throwing
Peter
tornadoes
Molyneux.
on people.
Oh God, yeah. And we all love Peter Molyneux. No, we don't. Peter Molyneux, the big liar. Yeah.
Ah,
Isn't he a crypto scammer now or something?
oh God.
Boy, he had that thing with the curiosity. What's in the cube?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go very well,
He
did
didn't
it?
pay the guy who won or got to the centre or
Yeah.
something.
Jeez.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't at all. But he's popular for making Fable, isn't it? The studio, anyway, for making the Fable games.
Yeah. Alright, so that's Kevin Valley's question out of the way. We now come to Loffy, who placed a single comment on the thread where I was asking for the Q&A questions, and his comment actually has quite a few questions. Hang on, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions. But having
bloody
said
hell,
that,
that's nice.
yeah, having said that though, some of them kind of bounce around the same kind of thing. So you can actually sort of divide his questions into sort of two groups, I guess. One to do with sort of games, and the other sort of to do with content creation here on YouTube. So we'll start off with his more sort of video game themed questions. So his first one is, which World War II game do you enjoy playing the most, and what attracts you to it? Well, I mean, I could just go with the predictable answer here and say Return to Castle Wolfenstein, since it is such a big one here on the channel, because A, it's a classic from 2001. It just, I think, did a lot of things right for when it came out. It had great atmosphere, great action, plenty of interesting weapons to get your teeth into. And yeah, I mean, that was what attracted me to it. But if I was to select a World War II game that I played other than RTCW, I'm trying to think which one would it be. It'd probably be probably one of these sort of mid 2000s Call of Duty ones. Probably something like Call of Duty World at War, something like that, because that was a good one. Just had like really interesting characters and things like that in it. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'd say. I don't know actually how many World War II games you two have ever played, though. That's the thing. Have you played any, and any particular favourites?
Well, for me, Call of Duty World at War was a very good game. And then the Company of Heroes games. I used to play them when I was a lot younger.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
Yeah.
Don't think I've ever played a Company of Heroes game. I'll have to.
You should. It's a good RTS, to go back to the previous question.
Oh, there you go then. Maybe that's something for me to kind of think about then. And sort of actually related to that question, actually, that kind of segues into Loffy's second question. All-time favourite shooter game, and why does it stand out? So not necessarily just World War II games here, but any sort of shooting franchise or anything that really stands out to you.
Well, I there's some of the Wolfenstein games that I did like as the World War II, like in the latest, the newer ones, New Order, New Colossus, Old Blood. I really did enjoy those when I played them. They had a lot of wow factor to them as well.
Indeed.
And I really enjoyed playing them because they had a lot. They had a lot. The storylines were very sort of advanced as well, and you really got to see the villains in it were really brought out,
Yeah.
especially Deathhead and Frau Engel. They were really, proper villains.
Yeah, that's definitely a favourite shooter sort of game / franchise for you then, Phil. And yeah, I can agree with that. Some of the later Wolfensteins from the Machine Games company have been pretty damn enjoyable. So, I mean, mainly apart from obviously that characters and storylines, just the general action in them is always usually quite fun. It's good stuff. What about yourself, Connor? Any shooter franchises or games, not necessarily World War II, but in general, that you just really enjoyed?
Very much enjoyed the first Overwatch. So I played a lot of that with friends and things. Overwatch 2 was slightly disappointing, but
yeah, it didn't get the most rave reviews, did it, from critics?
Definitely didn't, because they cancelled a lot of promised features. But other than Overwatch,
don't go doing that, developers. Yeah,
No,
don't go. Don't do that, please. Just if you're going to put features in your game, and then you're going to say, "Oh, we've got all this, and then you don't put it in. Yeah, looking at you, the launch of No Man's Sky. I know you've sorted yourself out completely now, but your launch was not good at all.
The gamers never forget. But yeah, Counter Strike. That's been sort of a good favourite of mine.
Yeah, I was going to say with Overwatch, who's your hero? Who you play as?
Well, in Overwatch 1, I played a lot of Brigitte and Mercy and Moira. I tend to be a support character. But in Overwatch 2, the new character, Kiriko, was very good and very powerful if you could aim. So, yeah, Kiriko was very fun to play.
Key point there being if you can aim. Yeah.
Being a support character is good because you'll be loved by a lot of your team
Yeah.
when they help, especially especially if you choose to be a medic, for example, because not many people like to play as the medic because they think it's boring.
That's my
but it's a
favourite
big help
class to play.
There you go. Well, you'll be extremely loved, won't you?
It's just so you can farm so many points just from healing people. Like, let's take a game like Battlefield, for example. You don't have to be the one getting shot in the head. You can stand behind a wall and just keep all the people around you healed up or res them from safety, and you just farm points.
Indeed. Yeah. And actually, whilst we're on the subject of shooters, things like that, I'll actually just bring in Loffy's fourth and fifth questions here before I get to the third one. But so, fourth question he had was, do you have any tips for improving accuracy in first-person shooter games, especially for newcomers? Honestly, I think you've come to the wrong person for tips in that regard. I certainly don't really have any tips, because if you watch me in multiplayer FPS games, I'm usually the one getting shot to pieces, in all honesty. I don't know about you guys.
I have a very... go on.
No, go on. Go ahead, Connor.
Well, when I play shooters, I have a very unorthodox way of learning them, and it's to just leave all the settings as default and just learn what the default settings are. So sensitivity wise and things like that, I don't tend to change them because I don't like changing things. So I don't even change keybinds. But if I was to give advice, it definitely find a sensitivity that's right for you. There's a lot of aim lab programs in Steam and things that are free that help try and practice your aim, shooting targets and things. But most of it's just the time you put in. You just have to play it a lot.
Yeah, I thought we were saying that you're going to recommend an aimbot or something.
Well, no.
Go on, Phil.
I would also say that you've got to when shooting. Obviously there's the things with regards to iron sight shooting and hip fire. Obviously, hip fire is a lot quicker with shooting, but its accuracy is severely reduced. So the best thing is to use things like iron sights a lot possible. And if you want to be like a sniper unit, then some games have the ability to hold your breath as you're doing it, as you aiming down the sight. So that can be useful. If you hold your breath, because it actually makes the sight not wobble as much, and then you can fire a lot better. But that's mostly for sniping units, though, isn't it? Really, but I mean for more up close and personal with like shotguns and assault rifles, it's mostly just better to just try and aim and see where you can get, and maybe it's good to have a steady hand, I would say. If you have issues with a steady hand, then it's not going to be the best, really.
No, I was also going to say, like with multiplayer FPS, there's always that thing about sort of leading your shots because of like the server latency, things like that. So try aiming slightly ahead of where the person you're aiming at is actually moving, in the hopes that way, if you're like compensating for a bit of server lag, that way you might be firing a bit better, which is a bit of a more difficult one, I think, to achieve. But I don't know, that's one I've heard about. But
yeah, that is good advice.
With server lag.
I was also just thinking though about the sniper tip that you mentioned a moment ago, Phil. Have you ever seen any of those skit videos that people do where it's like snipers in video games, and it's like they hold their breath and something like 5 seconds later they're completely out of breath? It's like the sight's wobbling around all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that I can't remember. There's some game where you can't hold your breath for too long, and because you'll start to take damage.
Yeah.
I don't know which game that was, but it was one where they start to take damage, like, and
yeah, it's just really weird. It's like hold your breath. Like 5 seconds later, it's like your sniper character is just panting like crazy. It's like, how did I pass basic training and all that? But yeah, so Luffy's fifth question, going back to World War II again, are there any upcoming World War II themed game releases that you're looking forward to? Not that I'm aware of, is the answer to that, but then again, I haven't been sort of keeping abreast of upcoming releases at the moment, so I probably just need to check. So I don't know if either of you are aware of any that I'm unaware of.
I'm not.
I don't think there is. No, I watch a hell of a lot of top 10 lists, and and things with like top 10 upcoming games. There's not been a lot in the sort of World War II genre that they've popped up. So I'm not too sure. Maybe people are getting a bit tired of it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why there's not so many showing up.
Yeah, not really much else I can add to that. So we'll go to Luffy's third question now. It's still on the subject of gaming, but could you recommend some lesser-known adventure games that you've found captivating? So not necessarily shooters or World War II, but just adventure games in general. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd probably just say Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb that you mentioned before, because it's really fun, really solid mechanics. For
Isn't that more? That's more action adventure, though, isn't it?
Well, it's adventure.
Adventure. The adventure genre is things like where you've got the walking simulators, the things like the Forgotten City.
Yeah, I don't know. I think adventure is very broad though as a genre. Like action adventure probably is kind of like a sub category within that. So I mean, Forgotten City is also another good one. Now that you've mentioned it, definitely well worth if you like sort of more sedate, slower paced, particularly with a bit of almost kind of like a bit of a detective flair to them in terms of finding information and uncovering the truth and all that. That is a good one. But yeah, any other lesser-known adventure games that either of you can think of from your own experience as gamers?
I know there's like obviously there's the famous point-and-click ones like
But like Monkey Island and Broken Sword and things, haven't you? But they're quite old now.
Yeah.
And some of the walking simulators, which some people aren't too fond of because they think it's just boring, but some of them are really good, especially because they're mostly for story. You know, things like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Dear Esther, think there's thing Gone Home, obviously What Remains of Edith Finch. And actually, talking about that, Andrew, I thought of, because you like those sort of adventure games.
Yeah.
There's another one that quite a few people did that you haven't done. I know it's one, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Oh god, another one for me to add to the list. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, because I recommended What Remains of Edith Finch, and you had to go that. But yeah, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Indeed, I'll have to make a note of that one and check it out at some point. Yeah, there's some adventure game suggestions there for you, Luffy and all that. I was also just thinking actually of a demo I played recently for a turn-based RPG that has a very adventuring flair to it. Sea of Stars, which I think is available on Steam. You can get the full version of it. So
we better say Sea of Thieves then.
Sea of Thieves. Well, that's a piratical adventure, that one, Phil. So if you're into multiplayer pirate action, then try that one too if you want to. Right, but now we get on to Luffy's other 4 questions. How many? Sorry. Oh no, hang on, there is another question that I've just missed from his list, which actually is most memorable gaming moment from a World War II game. Well, for me, that's probably some of the crazy moments I had in Return to Castle Wolfenstein, with enemies bloody sneaking up on me and giving me the right jump scares and all that. Like certain proto-soldiers coming around a corner and me just completely not even realising they were there until they basically blew me to pieces.
Oh God, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
That was the original
What about your
GMAI. That was.
What about your most memorable moment from the vanilla, rather than a modded or map gameplay?
Let me think about that. I mean, there's definitely some kind of memorable moments just from, for example, like some of the Call of Duty games more recently, where I mean, some of the more memorable moments in those sometimes are like the vehicle sections, where it's like frenetic and just fast-paced, and it's just me like, oh shit, I'm trying to keep up with what the game is throwing at me. And yeah, just somehow managing to bumble through it. But yeah, I mean, those are memorable moments right there, yeah. Just thinking, any sort of memorable moments from any World War II games you've played that you want to pin up on the board right now while you have the opportunity?
I remember playing a game called Day of Defeat a long time ago, and I just remember having, I think it was an MG42, and I basically spawn camped the enemy team.
Yep. I've had moments like that in Wolfenstein Enemy Territory on modded servers. You just get a flamethrower and stand at the enemy spawn point.
Yeah, and I just like sent a lot of people to the Shadow Realm, and they weren't best pleased.
I remember lots of memorable moments from the latest Wolfensteins, but some of the stuff I'm not going to really say because it's very spoilerific.
Yeah.
Some very good memorable moments in regards to the cutscenes and various stuff. Some of the Wolfenstein games. But I remember when I was playing, some of my memorable moments have to be from the 2009 Wolfenstein. Just the fact that they are very dramatic when it comes to deaths when you shoot them. Like when you shoot them in the leg, for example, they start hopping around for a few minutes and then keel over.
Yeah.
But when you shoot them in the throat, you can actually hear them, choking on their own blood, drowning in their own blood, and then it's crazy, that one.
Phil
really,
likes the bloodthirsty
really
moments. There you go.
Oh yes, just likes murdering people.
It's his dark personality.
Excuse me, Connor, you can't tell me what I do and don't do on a Saturday night, but yes, that's what I do on a Saturday night, so don't tell him. Oh, God, no, that shouldn't have come out like that. Oh, no, my secrets have been revealed.
It's alright, we already had you pegged as a murdering sociopath, to be honest.
There we are. Keep saying murder to trigger the YouTube algorithm.
Murder, unaliving, there we are.
Unalive.
Yes. Alright, Luffy's final set of questions now, all to do with content creation. So, first one, in your opinion, what's the key to creating engaging gaming content on YouTube? I mean, I personally would say just, be yourself. Don't necessarily try to be funny, just let that kind of come naturally, because, looking back on, for example, like some of my really old videos where I sometimes like really try to force jokes, things like that, I look back on those and think, ugh, no, cringy. But, these days now, I just sort of blither on about nonsense and just be myself, my own sort of weird. Sometimes not even just doing proper commentary, sometimes just making stupid noises as the enemies try and slowly kill me. And, just being yourself essentially is a key point. And if, you're... the more and more confident you get at it, the more and more out of your shell you'll start to come. And it'll get more and more engaging sort of as time goes on, at least is my kind of experience of it. But yeah.
Makes sense, that, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. How would you two be engaging?
Just sit there and say nothing.
Say nothing.
There you go. That's,
no
that's
commentary.
Completely engaging.
Yeah.
Be self-deprecating.
Do yourself down every opportunity.
Yeah. No, but it's highly important that you say that, because trying to forcing to be anything like funny as it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
And just flowing and letting the game play and you enjoying it, and if you're getting battered. This is why I prefer watching like YouTubers playing stuff who are playing it blind rather than already played the game, because you can see a genuine reaction then.
True, yeah. So that's a little bit on being engaging on YouTube. Luffy's next question was, can you share some insights into your gaming setup, including your PC specs and peripherals? I should have actually checked my PC specs before I started recording this, but my PC is a PC Gaming Specialist Vortex Fusion Elite. It's like an i7 or something. I can't remember the exact model that it is. NVIDIA graphics.
I think you got asked this in the last Q&A.
I probably did, yeah.
But I think
no
you did
upgrades
since then.
Yeah.
Peripherals
wise, I'll be honest, I'm a complete basic bitch when it comes to my gaming rig. I don't really have any fancy peripherals, in all honesty. I know like some gamers, have the amazing setup where they have about 3 monitors. I don't. I just have the 1 monitor, and I'm just using a pretty basic Logitech USB headset.
Mind you, though, when we've come to record together, you've got a nice sort of boom microphone.
I do have a boom microphone, for when you come round down south and we do some recordings together. It just gives us a nice, fairly decent audio quality, which is good. Yeah.
You haven't got a racing rig, no, like steering wheel setup,
No.
or honestly, what are you like? What a noob!
Why would I have that, Phil? I've never played a racing game. I've played racing games before, but I've never needed a wheel for them.
What a noob.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you should make it difficult on yourself. Try doing a first-person shooter with their steering wheel.
Yeah, play Wolfenstein with a wheel.
A wheel, right? Well, maybe I should try playing it with a Guitar Hero's guitar controller or something.
I know people have done
DDR
things
mat.
like that, crazy things. Like, I know a person who's done Dark Souls with playing with the Guitar Hero guitar, and it's just crazy how they've managed to do it.
Some people really, really like to do wacky things, and they spend a lot of time perfecting their ability to do said wacky things. And it's fun to watch, I guess, sometimes, yeah. Next question from Luffy. Are there any specific challenges you face as a content creator in the gaming niche? Oh, absolutely loads of them. I mean, the major one is the fact that, let's be honest, my channel is just like a tiny, tiny, tiny little corner of the internet, and growing that is insanely difficult. But, yeah, I mean, main sort of challenges sometimes is just, keeping on the right side of YouTube sometimes. A load of my Senran Kagura videos in months and months after they got released eventually got friggin' age restricted, which is always kind of sucks a bit, but... Yeah.
Oh, no, they didn't, did they? Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, just because they've obviously got loads of...
anime fan service. Yeah.
Content.
Yeah. Which is understandable, but, yeah, I mean... Can't say I shouldn't really have anticipated that there could be a point where later down the line they'd end up being age restricted in that way, but sure, yeah.
It's the fact that I've said this again, haven't I? That the fact that YouTube are doing silly things where they're, obviously flagging you up for swearing in videos, for saying things like kill. Even when COVID was around, you couldn't even say that word. And the fact that some people now, when there's like a video game that shows a gun, they have to blur the gun out because YouTube don't want to see guns.
Strange, but indeed, it's
That's why most big YouTubers have just on Twitch now, aren't they, streaming?
But it's like, I think on a more general note, one of the sort of big challenges for content creators in the gaming niche is just the fact that it's a very crowded niche. There are lots of people out there who have barely any views, and it's not because they lack talent or anything, it's just that with the algorithm and the fact that the platform's so crowded now, it's like realistically you'll never sort of make it big, things like that on YouTube, so don't be expecting to, in essence. But if it does go like that, then good for you.
Don't make videos to become pop. Go on, Phil.
Yeah.
Your turn now.
Oh dear me. Yeah, the specific challenges, and Luffy's final question. Phil's actually just mentioned streaming a moment ago, and the question is, do you have any plans to venture into streaming or playing other genres in the future? Streaming is one of those things which I sometimes think to myself it would be awesome to do, but having said that, it would be finding the time to do it, and just in terms of the setup, I'm not sure kind of how it works, if you need special software or stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe
you do need special software. There's one that because I once tried a bit of streaming, and I use software called XSplit Broadcaster,
Yeah.
which is some live streaming software, and it seemed to work okay. You need to make sure you have a solid internet connection as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because obviously, since you're broadcasting it out to the internet, as well as obviously then playing your game in the background and whatever else have you, that can always it puts demands basically on your hardware. Also, the thing that I think this actually goes back as well to the peripherals question. If you are going to be a streamer, it helps if you have one of those setups where you have multiple monitors. So it's like you can have the game on one and then stream on the other. And obviously, I don't really have
And
that.
the chat on the other as well, so you
Yeah.
can see if anyone's talking to you.
Indeed. So yeah, it would also. I think it also comes down to if you have the optimal peripheral setup as well to do it. That certainly helps. But yes. Having said that, the question also said playing other genres in the future. Absolutely. There's definitely lots of other games of varying genres that I do want to play. More shooters, not just World War II ones, but shooters in general. More horror games. I want to play more of that. RTS games, mentioned a moment ago. I definitely want to get more and more into those.
I think more with that question, he was asking, delving into genres that you haven't really tried before.
Yeah.
Are there any genres that you have never really tried that you thought would sound quite intriguing?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Sometimes
I want to.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Make a 600-part series on FIFA.
FIFA, oh god. No thanks. Okay, that's a genre that I don't want to try. I'm just going to say
Copy
that
and
right
paste
now.
the same video 600 times.
I feel like that's a bit of jab at the Syria being hunted series. What's going on?
No, they're all very unique. FIFA is not unique in the slightest.
Yeah.
I know when you watch your videos, there's always something new going on. You're always discussing something new, or there's some different things going on, and obviously the amount of thought that's going into all these challenges that you can think of as well is the main thing.
True.
But
yeah, just thinking in terms of other genres that I've never really played before.
you got like racing games, simulation games, MMORPGs, MOBAs,
Rhythm games.
rhythm games. Yeah.
There are certain rhythm games actually which I potentially would be interested in doing. I do actually have a game in my Steam library called Unbeatable White Label, which I believe
That's a fantastic game.
Yeah, which is a rhythm game that apparently is supposed to be quite good. So that's
The Necro Dancer.
indeed.
I can just imagine you on Dance Dance Revolution, Matt. Oh god,
Me, eh? All right. I feel like that would be a embarrassing to watch me on a DDR, Matt, because of I'd probably be like a very gangly person, just trying desperately to hit the right pad at the right moment and failing. Yeah, that
Why
would
is
be
there not
me.
a Twister video game yet? That would be
Twister.
amazing, wouldn't it? Imagine Twister the video game.
Oh, jeez, that would be something. That would. But yeah, yourselves, any genres that you haven't played before that you'd want to potentially break out into and try out?
I play everything really.
Everything.
Everything sort of. I haven't played a lot of racing. I've done some racing games in the past, but it'd be interesting to try. I don't have one of the game genres that I'm not really fond of is MOBAs, like Dota, League of Legends. Those sort of ones. I don't know. When I look at it, it doesn't really appeal to me. But maybe I should try. Maybe I should give one a go.
Sounds like a skill issue to me.
How rude!
I was
I'm
going
going to put you up on a crop and crucify you. How dare you?
On a crop and crucify him. There.
I said cross.
Oh,
Learn
right.
to open your lug holes and listen, you bitch.
Wow. Damn.
Wow.
Fucking- See, it's that murdering sociopathic tendency coming out in Phil there,
I mean,
ladies
you've
and
got
gentlemen.
things on the side of your head that you use for hearing. Bloody use them!
Is that what they're supposed to be used for? Oh, okay, right.
No,
It's
they're
news
actually supposed to be used for smell.
Oh,
No,
well,
they're
there you
supposed to
go.
be used for smell, actually. Yeah.
Well, but I was going to say actually, in reference to MOBAs, so again, like your Dotas and your League of Legends and stuff like that, that is like something again that I've never really played. But I sort of have two minds about. Like, I see screenshots of games like that, and I think they do look really interesting. But of course, them being multiplayer, and they have a bit of a reputation for just having really toxic, annoying player bases.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
so that's the thing with them. I mean, I've tried MMORPG. Obviously, the one I tried was RuneScape back in the day when RuneScape was actually decent.
Right.
It's still decent now.
I think that the latest one isn't as good as the old like classic RuneScape. There's some bits of it okay, but I don't think it's as good.
But the classic RuneScape is still out. It's old school RuneScape.
Old school, that's the one. Yeah, the one from 2003 or 2001 or something.
Yeah.
That's still going strong today.
Is it? Oh, that's good. Like World of Warcraft. Oh my god, that's going on and on, that one.
Yeah. All right, that's all of Luffy's questions done out of the way, and now we come to the final person who's left a load of questions for us to get through. This is Mr. L, and so there's quite a few questions here. I've sort of grouped them though, roughly based on sort of it's because some of them span sort of very similar topics, and this is where some of these might be some more whimsical and some more political and interesting to get our teeth into. So there should be some interesting thoughts on some of these ones. First one, what do you think of the war in Ukraine? I mean,
oh my god, that's throwing us right into the deep end on that one.
We're starting out hot on that one.
Yeah, that's a hottie.
Yeah, I mean, me and you, Phil, have certainly already mentioned before. I think our thoughts on that, and it's tragic. And thank you, Vladimir Putin, for causing a frigging massive bloody crisis on the fringe of Europe. Douche. Just going to say that right now.
Douche.
Yes.
I think douche is a bit of an understatement. I would say.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. Why the fuck has Putin got to go and do this to? Just because it all started with that bloody taking over Crimea, didn't it? 2014 when he took over Crimea. Something was up then, and then he's just the poor Ukrainians having to all those people who've taken in Ukrainian, like the refugees. Well done if you've got extra room, because what Putin's doing is akin to Stalin and Hitler. I would say straight away.
We're going hot takes here, Connor.
What's your
in
view,
agreement.
Connor?
I'm in agreement. Like it is, as you said, tragic.
Yeah.
And very disappointing that the human race still finds reason to do these things.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's the big thing. Why we fight and everything. I think that's one of the things, because the supermarket I go to does these like they're really nice Polish chocolate hazelnut bars, and I went the other day and they weren't there. They'd stopped, and there was like loads of out of stock for ages, and then they didn't have them. I reckon they were having supply issues, because I know that Poland has been having a few issues from the Russians as well, so there could have been that. They've just come back into the supermarket today. Actually, I saw them again. So I think that's one of the things. Obviously there would have been supply issues getting them from Poland, I reckon, because they obviously the Russians are not on the best terms with Poland as well as Ukraine, because the Russians just want to be fucking arseholes everywhere, don't they?
Yes, Russian government certainly has a particular way of approaching the world. Let's put it like that, which is not necessarily a great one. Let's be brutal.
I mean, what's going to happen if Putin gets caught? He's going to be indicted for war crimes. That's the first thing that's going to bloody happen.
Indeed. I mean, he's kind of restricted actually in where he can go abroad now anyway, because there's loads of signatories to the International Criminal Court who basically have said, we believe what his government is doing is basically a set of war crimes, and if he ever comes to our country, he will be arrested and sent to The Hague. So,
unfortunately, there are some countries that are on Russia's side. Like I believe Belarus is.
Well, Belarus is basically just a client state of Russia. Anything that basically Russia says, pretty much you can expect that Belarus even will.
Belarus.
I just said Belarus. What the heck? Jesus.
Belarus, well, it was part. What about the other sort of countries of the old Soviet Union? Like Lithuania.
Well, Lithuania, like Latvia and Estonia, they're very much supportive of like NATO. They're very much supportive of Ukraine. Yeah, and even like some of the like Central Asian countries who you would have expected to just go along with Russia, even they have like voiced some objections and criticism of what's going on. Like Kazakhstan, for instance, has been pretty.
I think it's time, Andrew. You've left it for too long. Mm-hmm. You need to get the General Red Army. I think it's time to attack.
The Red Army. Oh my goodness! What my disparate group of fans around the world. Well, do what you want. Yeah. But, right, so next couple of questions that are actually on a sort of similar theme from Mr. L. So this next two are sort of space themed. So first one, what do you think of the India moon landing? So Chandrayaan, whatever number it was, that landed on the pole, one of the poles of the moon in the last few weeks, however long ago it was now. It was pretty recent. I mean, I say, great achievement. There you go, great scientific achievement. So, I mean, if they can do that, then fantastic, and we'll learn, hopefully, lots of new things and interesting things from more lunar exploration. And they said explanation then.
A lunar explanation. Explain why the lunar surface exists. There you go.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
When we do these scientific discoveries and things. Well done to the Indian team. Because it might be able to find things that we couldn't find before. Because I love the fact that we can do so much with exploring space, can't we?
Yeah.
It's such a vast area out there and a great place to look for various things. So looking at the poles of the moon, seeing what's going on, seeing what we can find there.
Yeah. Fascinating scientific achievement. So it's great stuff on there. Unless you got any
What do you
hot
think of
takes?
space? Yeah, Connor. What's your view on there? Are you a space fan?
Space fan. Not until I played No Man's Sky. Like, I was so disappointed. It's just put me off space forever.
Yes.
That was a joke. That's a hugely
No,
impressed
sorry,
by the
that's
Indian
a
team.
serious hot take. Sorry, that's we've taken that as a seriousness.
Ever since No Man's Sky came out and disappointed me, I've just decided that we shouldn't do any space-related research whatsoever because fuck space. It doesn't have the quintillion planets I was promised.
Yeah, as well as the Elite Dangerous as well. That's a big space sim game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to play Starfield instead.
Oh god, I want to play that.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, it looks really good. That.
Yeah, so Mr. L's other space-themed question, do you think we'll land on Mars in our lifetime? So I'm assuming he means here, will we land humans on Mars in our lifetime?
Yes, wasn't that the point of the 2050 Mars One project?
Yeah, that's ongoing
Not
at the moment.
2050, not 2050. Sorry, it's 2025. So it's in 2 years' time. Apparently, supposedly in 2 years' time, there's this Mars One project where
Yeah.
they're sending 9 people to Mars who are going to live there
Well,
and
that's-
try and make Mars habitable.
Sounds like a battle royale to me.
Oh, that'd be whoa! Can you imagine that as a battle royale?
Oh my god. No, I was going to say, I mean, certainly the intention is to try and see if we can get humans on Mars, at least in this century. Whether they'll do it, they'll be working towards it. So.
Oh, very much so. Getting it. I mean, it takes 9 months to get to Mars.
Yeah.
So you're going to be staying there for good, which it's going to be a bit funny because you might be away from people, and if you have children, they're going to be Martians.
Martian kids.
Yeah.
Give them a copy of Minecraft, they'll be fine for 9 months.
Martian craft. There we are. Marscraft.
Martian. Well, no doubt there is a mod for Minecraft that probably is called Martian Craft
yeah,
or
there was
Marscraft or something. Yeah.
Galacticraft. It had a whole thing where you could go into space, and it had different planets, and one of them was Mars. So there you go. It's right
You
there.
see,
Yeah.
you see, you can land on Mars and habit it all, and that would be funny if they eventually do come back to Earth, like their kids will be like on their passport they'd have to put like Martian. They can't put that they come from Earth when they're
Earthling,
place of birth Mars. Sorry, everyone will think they're lying or having a joke with them. Why does it say Mars on your passport? Can you start fucking around and actually get a proper passport, please?
You can't possibly have been born on a chocolate bar. There you are. Yeah.
Yeah, a nice red passport, wouldn't you?
Oh,
Yeah,
red passport.
No, actually, I was born on Snickers. Yes.
Yes, Planet Snickers. There we are. Indeed. Right. So yeah, I mean, the aim certainly, as we say, is to try and get humans to Mars soon. I can envisage that it won't be easy, and there may well be delays, but you never know. It could happen in our lifetime. We're still young. We're still young and fresh-faced and youthful. Plenty of time yet. Indeed. All right. So next couple of questions from Mr. L. Again, sort of bounce around a similar subject. So least favourite and most favourite horror games. So I think for my least favourite horror game, I mean, we've already mentioned things like Living in a Glass House and Outlast, which
I know that we have
predictable
done a
for me.
few. We've done a few So You've Been Hunted episodes on horror games and horror things. I
Yeah.
know in a few past Q&A, people have asked what our horror game is, but
Yeah.
again, we've got a third person here, and three times the charm, as they say.
Yeah.
I have a hot take for this question, though.
Oh, go on.
So my least favourite is the original Amnesia.
Oh, interesting.
Hot,
Yeah.
hot take. Sorry for offending you both.
I know. I think you're gonna have to leave, Connor. We never
Yeah.
come back.
The last Q&A for me. Sorry.
But you're specifically watching us do a custom map, so I don't think you can partake in any more of that.
Oh,
The London one.
The custom map's very enjoyable because it doesn't have the main villain of the original. So
Ah, is that why you didn't like Amnesia: The Dark Descent?
it was just stupid to me.
Okay, yeah. Weren't too
But
keen on the plot.
My favourite would probably have to be Dead by Daylight.
Oh, okay,
It's,
bit more of a
uh,
slasher. Yeah.
It is a multiplayer horror game, but it's scary because you don't know what the human killer is going to do. Like, because it's different every time because you're playing someone different. When you're being chased,
yes,
it's
it is,
pretty
yes.
scary. When it's like AI and things, you
Yeah,
you
you
learn how
it.
to like break it.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, Dead by
Yeah.
Daylight's very fun when playing with friends against random killers or.
Speaking of Dead by Daylight, Connor, have you ever taken a look at the hot visual novel Dead by Daylight themed dating sim Hooked on You?
I've seen it. It came out on April Fool's, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I've not played it. No,
Who'd
not
be your
yet.
wife?
Anyway, I was waiting for your video on it.
I should have done a
I
video
love-
on it. Yeah.
I love the fact where they do these crazy dating sims, like that Hateo boyfriend one,
Oh,
where you date
yeah.
pigeons. Yeah,
Indeed.
that's
There's a KFC one as well, isn't there?
Oh yeah, I played that. I played that on the channel.
Oh god, that one. Yeah, that one was notorious for everyone having a bitch fest about it.
Yeah.
I've told you about this before, Andrew, but when that came out, everyone's going, "What the hell? KFC can't be doing things like this. You can't be releasing these stupid dating sims on KFC. No, it's all about premium, lovely chicken. We shouldn't be making dating sims about it. How dare they? Oh, all the moral guardians.
It's
Fuck
just a
off."
marketing gimmick, man. I mean, yeah, it is technically, but God, I don't care. It was funny. It was funny. It was enjoyable. It was just, and it was free. Like you didn't have to pay money for it or anything. So it's not like you had a load of money swindled out of you. It's fine. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I couldn't pick Dead by Daylight as a horror one, I do like Silent Hill games too.
Oh,
1 and 2 are pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah. In terms of,
iconic, you could say as well, can't you?
Yeah.
definitely.
I was gonna say, in terms of my favourite horror game, I mean, obviously, a few years ago, I said, obviously, like SCP Containment Breach back in the day was one that really just kind of got on my, well, it sort of frayed my nerves just nicely.
I don't think it got on your nerves because
not got on my nerves. That's the wrong phrasing. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I do still have memories of that one, quite fond memories. I'm trying to think. I mean, the thing is, there's been some like really good, like one-off little one-shot indie horror games from like itch.io, like demos and things I've played before, which have been absolutely terrifying. I always think now of a demo for a game called Nine Child Street that I once found on itch.io, and it actually did freak me out pretty good. Because basically you play as like a kid, you go into this really spooky, dark, creepy house, and it becomes painfully obvious that this house belongs to like a child murderer or something, and there's like these horrible like mannequin children that's like standing in the cupboards and things like this. It's just everything about it just combined so well to just absolutely freak me out. So yeah, that was an interesting one. So well worth a watch of that video on the channel if you want to go and see something like that. Night Security, one of the Chillers Art games that I played relatively recently. That was also pretty creepy because it actually did have kind of a bit of a Silent Hill sort of psychological horror vibe to it. Yeah, that was another one freaky. That was freaky again because it had a section with mannequins in it, just doing weird shit, and it was it did really well. I liked it. So that's a couple of favourite horror games from more recent times, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so next couple of
Well, hold
questions.
on a minute. I haven't said my horror games.
Have you? Oh, yeah, you haven't, have you? Sorry.
Did you even pick your least favourite?
Phil?
Did you yet?
I said, you didn't even pick your least favourite horror game, did you?
Yeah, I was just about to say as well. Yeah, good spot in there, Connor. What was your least favourite, Andrew?
Oh yeah, I hinted before. It was like living in a glass house / Outlast. Yeah.
Oh, Outlast. Yeah. Oh, cool. I must admit, I haven't played an awful lot of horror games. Horror games is not. I do like the genre, but it's not really a genre I play an awful lot. But there have been some like horror elements in things like BioShock and also Fallout 4, especially one where you find a serial killer. Pickman, I think is his name. Basically uses the dead raiders as the dead raiders' blood for his paintings. Which
I
is
like
really
the
sort of horror
reference. Pickman, I believe that's a reference to a H.P. Lovecraft story. Pickman's model.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it was related on that. Actually, there is one horror that I think I've watched that I did two that I've watched with you that I think I actually played myself. Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that one.
Classic.
And Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear was a very good psychological horror.
Yeah.
Worst horror game, yeah. Well, that Living in the Glass House wasn't the best. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, and I wasn't much of a fan of Outlast as well. It didn't grab me when I saw it, and absolutely hate every single Resident Evil game. No.
Oh my
God,
god!
Imagine how many people I'd trigger for saying that. Jesus,
I'm triggered.
I think people would find my address and try to lynch me. No, viewers, no. That's complete and utter joke. I do love the Resident Evil, especially the Resident Evil 8 or Village. It's very, very cool looking one, and not for bloody Lady Dimitrescu. I can't even say the bloody name. She's become fan service, isn't she?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Everybody loves that giant dummy mommy. There we are.
Yeah.
Indeed. Everyone just wants to be stepped on. That's what is going on because, everyone on the internet is so horny. There we are. Right.
Yeah. Rule 34.
Yes. Indeed. All right. So, yeah. With those questions out of the way, next couple are more Sir related. So, there's two here. So, when you started Sir, did you ever think it would go on for this long? Honest answer? No, I didn't. I thought I'd play it, do a playthrough, then maybe just do occasional videos on the updates as of when they came out. But no, went down very popular, and here I am now, still doing it.
I think because wasn't one of your first ever challenges the robot slaying one?
Yeah, I think it was.
You thought I'd give that a go and see what it's like, and then you thought, oh, actually, I like the sound of these challenges.
Yeah.
I remember your very first videos. It was just challenges. You didn't do any podcast episodes.
No.
But then I don't know what your first ever podcast episode was. I know there's some of the early ones, like 80 or 90, was one where we were discussing about British comedy and gaming and things like that. That was when you were living up north, and I came over then. Those are some very early ones.
Indeed, yeah. So, that's the simple answer to that one. Didn't think it would go on for that long. That kind of brings us into the second of Mr. L's related questions is, what on earth are you going to do for the 1000th episode of Sir? I don't even know if I'm going to get to that point, and I haven't even thought of that. I don't even want to think of that.
At this rate, it looks like you will be getting to that point.
I know, at this rate, it looks
it's
like
going to be like a click of the fingers, and you're like, oh god, I'm at 700.
Yeah. Indeed, it'll come sooner than expected in all likelihood.
I've got a perfect one for the 1000th video. We shall open up Connor's webcam and get him on a Dance Dance Revolution mat, combined with a twister mat, and off you go.
Yeah.
Singing to Katy Perry's Raw. There we go.
Indeed. So you're being
Can I pick the Katy Perry song?
I can imagine that'd be good. That'd be good.
We'll do a musical episode.
Musical episode.
Do like in sitcoms where they do like the funny moments episode where they keep going back to other episodes. You could do that across all 1000 episodes.
Oh god, yeah, funny. There you go, a funny So You're Being Hunted episode. And this was me, and like you sitting there with you sitting there in your computer chair, Andrew, going, doing that, thinking back, and then it does the timey-wimey, and then it shows and then one of the episode. Oh, I remember that time when I got absolutely blasted to pieces by the squire.
Yes, indeed. I was going to say, it turns out to like one of those kind of TV show episodes where it's not actually an original story; they just recap a load of stuff from previous episodes.
It's usually like a Christmas episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they go back and recap all the like good times they've had.
Indeed, yes. So yeah, simple answer is I don't even want to think about the 1000 episode at this time. Yeah, but who knows, if a reinvented edition comes out before that, then there won't be a 1000. God, I can't even say that. 1000th episode of Classic Edition, this, because we'll be over in the reinvented edition instead. But yeah, here we are.
So, Den of Thieves, if you're watching, hold on to the reinvented edition until we reach 1000. Okay. Okay. Good.
Will you start on episode 1 of the reinvented version,
Yes.
or will you carry on the episode numbers?
I think I would start on episode 1, since it's technically a new game and all that. So indeed, that's what I would do. Right, so next series of questions. So we're getting on to some kind of topical political issues again with this next few. Right, this next couple, again, are sort of bouncing around a sort of similar theme. So, first one, what are your thoughts on the TERF movement? So the whole trans-exclusionary, radical, feminist designation and all that. So yeah, we're getting into some real political topics here. I have to say, I mean, I think I've kind of hinted before that when it comes to trans issues, I see myself as being fairly open and, you know, encouraging of inclusivity and all that. So I do find some of the things that people who are often designated as TERFs, I do disagree with some of the things they say, though the thing I suppose I don't really like about that debate is how kind of rancorous it has actually become. I think sometimes maybe we do need to take a deep breath and all just calm down a bit, and maybe, you know, discuss things just a bit more seriously and a bit more civilly, to put it that way. I know it's quite a diplomatic answer, but yes, indeed.
Are you able to just give me a brief? I'm not 100% on what the TERF movement is. I've not seen that as much. I don't know the latest news, but I'm not quite sure 100% what that is.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I'm guessing you're obviously fairly aware on the fact that of course, there is a lot of discussion and debate at present around sort of like transgender people and should they have access to, say, like certain traditionally sort of like gender segregated spaces, things like that.
Yes, I've heard things about that.
And so you have obviously the so people who are kind of opposed to that. Certain individuals in that like to obviously call themselves the gender critical movement, but sometimes they are referred to not necessarily by themselves but by opponents as TERFs, which stands for like trans exclusionary radical feminists, which can be a bit of a misnomer because some of them aren't necessarily feminist, they're just sort of trans exclusionary. But yeah, often it sort of gets thrown around a bit. It kind of is sort of like a catch-all term for people who are sort of opposed to the idea of including trans people, or like trans inclusivity, that kind of thing.
Doing various things. So is it like I was say like if it's trans, like if you've let's say you were a man and you became a woman, and they don't want you like using women's bathrooms and places like that.
It's things like that, which I mean, on one level I can understand why people might be sort of kind of reticent about it, because obviously it is something very different, and it's one of those things that people sort of probably will need time to get used to, and it is one of those things that will need to be, again, sort of carefully thought out, obviously for like just, you know, standard sort of safeguarding procedures to make sure there is no sort of risk or anything like that. But yeah, what I just don't like often about the debate is how quite often either there are sort of kind of more, how should I say, kind of militant minorities within sort of both sides of the debate who often engage in just kind of outright abusing each other, and I don't like that. And it's not I mean, you know, say what you will about the beliefs of people on the other side, but try not to be engaging in like personal attacks and just outright abusive behaviour, ladies and gentlemen, because it doesn't really do anything for your side, to put it that way. In fact, it just creates a headache for the moderate people on your side who are just trying to have a serious and civil conversation to try and find and build a bridge and all that. So, yes, sorry, there's a bit of a rambling answer there, but yeah, I'm trying to sort of treat this fairly sort of gently and civilly, because I know
it's a bit of an issue, isn't it? Because there are a lot of people who are quite transphobic.
Yeah.
And people are like, you should be the gender who you should be. Why do you have to go around and change your gender?
Yeah.
What?
Indeed.
Just let people do what they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, things like
people being
sorry, go on.
if people want to change the gender, change your gender. This is why I hate people who are, homophobic and things like that.
Yeah.
Why have you got to have a go against someone who loves someone different? Loves. I'm of the mentality that love who you want to love. If you're a man and you love men, go for it.
Yeah.
If you're a man and you love men and women, you want to be bisexual, go for it. If you're a woman and you love women, a woman who loves man, or you love both, go for it. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever pleases you, you should go. These kinds of people have had horrific dealings in the past. People who were gay in the past were brought down, executed, slaughtered. It's still a bloody issue in bloody things like Saudi Arabia, where it's illegal to be gay. Fuck off.
Yeah, Phil's got strong views on this kind of subject.
I know it's. I'm not gay. I'm straight, but I've had a lot of people in the past. I've had a lot of gay friends and things like that.
Yeah.
And you should let them love life.
Yeah.
Why have they got to be persecuted? Why have they got to be persecuted for loving someone different? What's the reasoning behind that? Like, if you go up to someone and they're homophobic, I think the reason is, okay, why? Why do you feel that this man shouldn't love this man?
Yeah.
Why?
But,
What's your reason? Why?
Yeah.
What about this woman loving this woman, or this person who wants to change their gender and you don't like it? Okay, why?
Yeah.
Give me a good reason why.
Yeah, I was going to say though, like coming back obviously to like trans people, there are certain like arguments that are put forward by sort of the trans exclusionary side of things, which I sort of look at and I kind of think, what are you talking about? Because it's like, one of the common ones I hear is this sort of constant refrain that, you can't change your sex. If you're born a man, you're born a man. If you're born a woman, you're born a woman. It's like, well, no. Gender reassignment surgery is a thing,
Exactly.
It is possible to change your sex, and on top of that, sex and gender are two distinct concepts, and this isn't some new thing. Like, scholars and scientists and psychologists since like the 50s have freaking known about things like gender dysphoria and stuff like this. So these things are quite real, and they do affect people. And
people want to change gender. People want to change gender. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Connor?
Yeah. Sorry, we've kind of ranted and raved a bit there.
We've not let Connor had a say.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys echoed all the sentiments that I have. I think you should be entitled to do what you want to do, and you shouldn't be like criticised for it, as long as it's legal, of course.
Yeah, indeed.
I suppose on with the TERF movement, as I say, I'm not like an expert on the field, but I think there are some points that could be looked at, such as like sporting events and things, because there are genetic differences.
Yeah, that's. I think that's completely
now
reasonable.
That's a good point you brought up there. Yeah, because if you're having like them playing in very different, like the men's and the women's rugby and football can be different sometimes, can't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there definitely are some reasonable areas where, absolutely, like you say, we'd have to be sort of careful about just allowing, say, like a trans person to be competing in an area that's traditionally a cisgendered sport, for example. But I feel like, again, that's something which perhaps could be sort of negotiated on a case-by-case basis. Like, for example, if we feel that the trans person in question doesn't have an unfair advantage, then by all means, let them be included. So, yeah, I mean, I think there is basically what we're saying is there is a sort of a healthy middle ground. There's a healthy line. There's a healthy approach in this debate, which a lot of people, I think, have kind of these cause they kind of just stray off it, and they end up kind of getting themselves very bunkered in their own sort of particular perspectives, and it becomes harder for them to sort of listen to reason, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Why don't you just throw us three onto a football field? We'll show everyone how we play football.
I'm gonna be honest,
we're the best. The amount of football that we did in high school, oh my god, it was never ending, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, right, what are we doing today in PE? Football. Right,
Football,
what's today in PE?
football.
Football. Oh my god.
I'm just going to say right now, as a cisgender male, if you suddenly put me onto into a women's football match, all the genetic differences in the world wouldn't matter. They would probably absolutely trounce me because I am shit at football. Me being
Likewise.
male does not give me any sort of advantage. I'm telling you now, it
But
doesn't.
on football, even though you did it, it was like
Yeah.
was it with you, Connor, in school? Was it in PE? Was it always football? Did you always have football?
We did football, rounders, badminton, and
Yeah.
tennis.
Ah,
Did you do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We would do cricket, but only in the summer.
Yeah.
Because you can't really play cricket on wet ground. But yeah, we did, but it was mostly football. Rugby was a big one as well.
Yeah.
And I remember I was a scrawny lad, and there was like these big charging at you, and I was like, I had the rugby ball in my hand. I was like, oh fuck this, throw that, you can have it.
yeah. I just remember at high school, football was the main one they did with the boys. And what other sports did
It was
we do?
awful when it was muddy,
Yeah.
wasn't it? When it was really muddy. Oh my
Right.
god.
They did do rugby as well as like an optional one if you wanted to do it. Basketball actually was the other one at my school that we did quite frequently. 'Cause we had a proper basketball court in the gym. So, well, the gym. It was basically mainly a basketball court, but yeah, indeed. So there was that too. And yeah, I mean, as we got to towards like year 10 and 11, we started doing some other stuff like softball and things like that, which was interesting by way of something a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it when they did different things. I know that we did athletics and things like that as well, like javelin and long jump and high jump, and then doing the running ones. They were fun. Like the 100 meters and 200 meters were okay, but then they're like, right, we're doing the 800 meters today. Oh god.
Yeah, the 800 metres where you realise just how desperately unfit and unathletic you actually are. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I remember doing that in like early couple of years of high school. It was like year 7 or 8, and it doesn't make it. It wasn't made easy by the sorry, let me try again. It wasn't made any easier by the fact that the running track at my high school was completely uneven. Like it wasn't on a level surface. It was just a track laid out on the grass football field.
Makes you because you have to use more energy.
Yeah.
When it's uneven. Yeah.
Indeed. And it's like accidentally putting your foot in a flipping rabbit hole or something like that.
Oh no!
Oh, that will do your ankle in.
Yeah.
Sprained ankle there.
You have to watch out for them. Oh god, yeah. But yeah, so Mr. L's next question, which is sort of on a similar subject, very broadly speaking. So I don't know if you've seen this video, but what are your thoughts on the British dude who had a meltdown over pronouns in Starfield? So I don't know if you've seen this video. I have seen it, yeah.
I don't think I have actually.
Yeah.
No.
So basically, I think it was he a streamer or something?
No, he's a YouTuber.
YouTuber.
I won't say his name. But
Yeah. Yeah, but
yeah, he had a breakdown.
yeah, he basically had like a screaming, swearing breakdown about how in his eyes it was so stupid having just. I think isn't it not the case that in Starfield the only pronoun options basically are he, she, or they? So it's not even like that extensive a list. But he
Yeah.
just absolutely had a meltdown over
Did he?
it. Yeah, he was like shouting and
Right, I'm
screaming.
gonna
He was
have to
like,
watch
"Oh,
this."
this is so stupid!" He was like going so mad. It was like, dude, calm down. It's just a pronoun. That's all it is. It's like it's
I'll have a look at
really-
that. Actually.
Yeah,
I'll have just.
I'll
see
take
what
a link
it's all
out and
about.
I'll send it over to
yeah.
you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, just
Indeed.
I'll have a look. I'll have a
Oh
look at it.
god, it's like the guy gets so irrationally angry over it. It's just I've never seen anyone get so angry over it. It's just like, calm down, dude. It's really not a big issue at all. It's just a trivial little thing, and it doesn't even affect the gameplay or anything.
It's good that it's good that Bethesda have done that.
Yeah.
For Starfield as well. Because I know that people want to be. Sometimes don't want to be a he or a she.
Yeah.
And I prefer to be called by they.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
but yeah, shouldn't have had a massive fit about it.
No.
For God's sake, come on
indeed, yeah. So Phil, definitely go and have a watch of that video, and
Yeah,
viewers watching,
yeah,
if you haven't
take a
seen
look.
it, go and watch it, but brace yourselves for some real salt. You
I
know,
suppose I could just put into YouTube Starfield player meltdown.
yeah, Starfield pronouns meltdown.
Meltdown,
Or if you just-
yeah, that
Oh,
one.
that's all, yeah.
Yeah. Or like if you just search it on Google, I think there's like a Reddit thread where it got posted on as well, which you can probably find. So yeah, there's that too. Right, continuing on with Mr. L's questions, because there's only 3 more of them. 2 of them, however, are related to something else political. To get some interesting thoughts on this, let's get some hot takes. So first of these, do you think that a certain Donald J. Trump will be charged, given all his legal woes at the moment,
Oh,
given
dear,
his
oh, dear,
financial
oh, dear.
arrangements, shall we say it like that? So I've actually not been following it too closely. I mean, obviously he's in court at the moment to kind of establish what exactly has been going on his like
Who's
financial...
Donald Trump?
Donald Trump, who is that? Oh
I've
yeah,
not
he's the
heard of
guy
him
in Home
before.
Alone.
That's the fella.
Yeah, there he is. Indeed.
He was very helpful in Home Alone.
Yeah. But that sort of also leads into the other Trump-related question that Mr. L's given, which is, what are your thoughts on Trump as a whole? General opinions on him.
I believe in A Sea Being Hunted, we've given our thoughts as
Yeah,
well about
we
Donald
have.
Trump, but yeah,
we're not
good
too
to have
keen
a-
on the
have a
guy.
discussion.
Yeah. We think that yeah, we can't really, we don't really agree with the things he sometimes comes out with, and frankly, ever
God,
since
look what we
January
did during
6th,
COVID.
yes,
Yeah.
oh yeah, just inject bleach and all that. Think to
Oh
myself,
yes, inject that lovely
Yeah.
bleach into your veins. Ooh, why not have some bleach running through your bloodstream?
Yeah.
How lovely.
it always makes me feel sort of like, it always makes me feel slightly amused when people sort of sit there and say, you know, Biden should have cognitive and competency tests, and then never say the same thing about Trump. And it's like, have you heard some of the stuff he comes out with and how utterly
I'm still
inane it
baffled how he
is?
became president. I honestly was.
Yeah.
I was utterly baffled how we managed to get presidents. Because it oh god,
Yeah.
it was just a nightmare during COVID.
Yeah.
Didn't do at all well, and now he's just been indicted for these charges.
I mean, yeah, I mean, January 6th, putting all that aside, that was, you know, pretty damn serious. I mean, promoting basically an insurrection. Yeah, he's quite something, let's put it that
And
way.
let's not forget maybe that the storming of the Capitol.
Yeah, well, it's Jan 6th, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, oh, that was oh yeah,
Yeah.
what am I on about? Jan 6. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know my days of the week, let alone my months of the year. Come on now.
Yeah, there you go. Phil doesn't
What are we
know.
in now? Are we in? I'm sure we're in February now, aren't we?
Yeah, Phil doesn't know what time of the year it is, ladies and gentlemen. All the days, they're just a blur to him and all that.
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you love, Donald Trump then, Connor?
Donald Trump.
Or Trump? Yeah.
No, I think he's a bit of a wacko, and
Yeah.
anyone who sort of gets elected into that position of power who just promotes hate just shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
indeed.
This famous MAGA. Oh God. Make America great again.
America's
Yeah.
Well,
already
you
great.
didn't do that, did you?
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, it's yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure, you know, people obviously have diverging opinions, but that's what we think. There we go. Indeed.
Mind you, we're not as bad as Donald Trump, but our prime ministers of recent haven't been the best. I mean, like Boris Johnson. It was funny because I remember, like, So You Being Hunted episode, ages and ages ago, we were like, can you imagine Boris Johnson being prime minister? We're like, no, never happened, would it? Oh no.
And then it happened, and
Yeah.
you know, at the time we sort of tried to be diplomatic and sort of give him the benefit of the doubt and say, you know, he obviously it's a difficult job, and you know, try and sort of give him the benefit of the doubt. But as time went on, you know, it just was like, Jesus Christ, like things like the sleaze and corruption allegations and things like that. It's just,
Yeah, and
good
the
God.
buffoonery was getting over. We've
Yeah.
had a lot of our prime minister recently made a mistake. David Cameron obviously was banking on the fact that Brexit
Yeah.
wouldn't happen. Oh, that happened. Then Theresa May, went tits up for her.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, and then we had
Maybe
to obviously.
Liz Truss.
Yeah, I was about to say.
oh
Liz
God, it couldn't even
Truss.
last longer than a cabbage
Yeah.
wilting.
Liz Truss, who fantastically managed to absolutely destroy the economy with a disastrous mini budget, and yet still now she's invited to lectures to give economic advice, and it's like,
Oh no, is she?
Yeah, it's like here's the Liz Truss version of economics, which is completely divorced from reality. It's like,
What about in severely, unbelievably related news? Like this is really like Rishi Sunak and his HS2.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
that's not that. I know that's sorry everyone. That's extremely current. That one.
Yeah.
So it's been happening a few days ago.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
it cancelling the Manchester leg of it, was it?
Manchester train or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the Manchester. Was it Manchester Birmingham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, which is kind of makes a mockery of the current Conservative claims to be trying to level up the country and all that. And
What is going on with our prime ministership?
I know.
It's been going tits up for a good chunk of years now.
yeah, it's
But it's been happening in America as
promising.
well.
Yeah, all the promising sky high, amazing investments and things like this, which realistically can't be delivered. And you think to yourself, oh my God, Jesus.
Oh, where's William Churchill when you need him?
Where's Churchill? We will never surrender. Yes, we'll definitely bring him back. He'll totally be suited for the challenges of the 21st century.
Connor,
yes.
I'm sure you told me you had a reanimate the dead spell. So why don't we just see if we can lift him from the grave?
I'll get the shovel.
Oh, we won't need that. You just cast the spell and he'll just pop right out.
He'll pop right out, will he?
If
Yes.
that's what video games have taught us.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah, you won't
course,
be able to
video
get out.
games have been
He'll wake
accurate.
up in there like, how do I get out? Fuck.
He'll be
Hello?
knocking.
And he'll be like, where's that Hitler gone? I think you'll find he's long gone now.
I think you're not slurring your words enough there to be Churchill, Phil. You've got to sort of get that kind of Churchill growl in your words. Oh, Hitler.
We'll fight them on the beaches.
That's the one. There you go.
go.
Yeah, indeed. And then, of course, you've got to get the true Churchillian dialect. Whenever you say yes or no, it's got to be, oh, yes. Oh, wait, that's a different
God.
Churchill.
Best adverts. Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh. There's a Sea Being Hunted topic we should do in the future that I believe we haven't done. It would be even more fun with Connor. British, popular and famous British adverts.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
Indeed.
Nice, yeah, good idea.
And at least, God dang it, I nearly did
Probably we've never done that in 600 episodes. We've not done one on British adverts. Wow.
I was about to say I can certainly think of some memorable ones. What I actually nearly said was I can certainly think of some memorable ones.
There you go.
Let's get into the
Losing will to
time.
speak.
Yeah,
Churchill's in the voice chat.
I know. What the heck? I certainly think of some. Indeed.
Hello there, Elvis Presley.
Oh God, Elvis Presley has a voice I can do. Come on, pretty woman, I'm tired of talking. There we are. Mr. L's final question and the final question of the Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. Nice sociable one to, or a nice light one, sort of to
Read it as Elvis.
round off. Read it as Elvis, okay?
Not quite. It's not quite going to be the final question. I'll just tell you that now.
Whoa, is that because Phil's got a question of his own?
What could be happening? Oh, who knows? Oh, we'll find out after this
Right.
break.
Well, Elvis Presley is going to read out Mr. L's final question. How's the weather over there? There we are. How's the weather, ladies and gentlemen? How's the weather over there, Phil? Where you
Is
are?
that the question?
That's the
weather?
question. Yeah, that's
Right,
the final
okay,
question.
that's,
Yeah. Is it sunny? Is it rainy?
how
Is
is
it
the weather?
thunderstormy?
I
Is it
don't
windy?
know. I've got me curtains closed, Sonny Jim. So let me just have a look. It looking a bit overcast, a bit of blue sky, and a bit of sun. Is that what you like? Oh,
So not
Deirdre.
only have we brought out Phil's murderous sociopathic tendencies in this video, we've also revealed the fact that he's actually a 98-year-old man.
Oh yes,
A
I was looking
98-year-old
out that
sociopath.
window. Oh, where's me Fox's mints? Oh,
Oh,
I need
God.
them to get me going. Oh,
Phyllis.
my Fox's mints.
Yes.
It's like I remember when you go to your grandparents' house and they'd always have like a tin full of all sorts of weird biscuits.
Yeah.
That you'd never see anywhere, or only at your grandma's house. Like, where are you getting these biscuits from? I don't see these in the supermarkets ever.
I was
But
reminded,
did you-
yeah. Sorry,
Did
go
you
on.
ever have the disappointment where you open the biscuit tin at your grandparents and it's just sewing stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh god, that was horrendous. You're like, yay, biscuit. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to
I
say
want
actually,
a biscuit.
when I was a kid, and we went round to my grandparents on my mum's side of the family, and she would always bring out like a plate of biscuits and things like that. It'd be like breakaways and things like that.
Like, where do you get them? It's like, Granny, where do you get this? I don't see in the shops. Oh, I've got my own stash, Sonny Jim, just for you.
The old
And
people's
they always
stash.
they always like to overfeed you to grandparents, don't they? That'll do me now. No, have another.
Yeah, that's my grandfather. My grandmother on my dad's side of the family, who massively overfeeds you with Sunday roasts. It's like about meat and about 10 different vegetables, like swimming in gravy, like dripping off the sides of the plate. Indeed.
Yeah, but they're lovely. It's lovely when they do that.
Well, you know, grandparents and the biscuit stashes, that gives me an image now. Like, you know, some people go into back alleys and seedy, shady streets to go and pick up drugs. Old people sneak out at night to go and find the biscuit dealer. That's a new headcanon.
Get them. A new biscuit that digestives.
Oh yeah.
Well, Digestives released a new white chocolate one.
Oh.
White chocolate digestive. Yes, I've got some of them. They're actually really good. I must admit the white chocolate's not that well pronounced. I can taste more of the digestive biscuit than I can of the white chocolate. But mind you, white chocolate doesn't have that strong of a flavour compared to something like dark chocolate or something. It's not that strong. Maybe because apparently white chocolate's not real chocolate at all. So they say. But yeah, it is nice. Yeah, I saw it. It was being advertised. I'm like, white chocolate digestive. I thought, all right, I'll grab some of these. Not too bad.
Yeah. Sorry, how have we gone from weather to biscuits?
We like to go on tangents.
We do, yes.
What's your weather like, Connor?
It's getting dark, but it's blue skies. Sun's not out per se, but it's not too bad. I've got the patio doors open next to my
It's
new
warm.
office.
I know. Can you believe how warm it is for October? For October, it's like I remember going out this morning. My car thermometer was reading 18 degrees. I was like, 18 degrees in October? Bloody hell, what's going on here?
It's the October heat wave. It's the new British summer and all that. Yes. And the weather over here, where I am, it's actually sun's come out at the moment, which is not too bad. It was a little bit
but
more
you're in
grey
the
and
south.
overcast, yeah.
See, poor me and Connor in the north. You know, we have to make do with the
you're
the
in
shite weather.
Yeah, you're in the north, where it's pretty much an Arctic climate, and I'm in the south, where it's pretty much tropical all year round. So
Exactly. Well, you are closer to the
Equator.
equator, so there you go. Yeah.
marginally closer to the equator. There we go. Indeed, yeah. Well, that's all the questions from the viewers, but now apparently we have a question from Phil.
I do. Well, it's two questions, but they can be combined together.
No.
So for both of you, what is your? Oh no! Oh, someone else has turned into an old lady now.
No.
Oh, it's like who is it? Do you remember Jim off Vicar of Dibley?
Yes.
No. Yes.
No. Yes. Go ahead, Phil. Go on.
It was funny. Yeah. So the first little question is. Obviously, there are many film soundtracks that are very, very iconic. Which is your sort of favourite? The thought that came to me this morning, because for some reason I started humming the Pink Panther theme.
Right.
I was like, what's going on here? I was like, where's this suddenly come from? But then I was thinking of like iconic film scores. So what are you guys sort of like favourite ones? Like for me, I like Mission Impossible is a good one. James Bond.
Yeah.
That's a good theme. And I have to say it, don't I? Even though I've never watched the films. Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yes, you always come out with the Jurassic Park theme tune at some point whenever we're doing these call-out
Well, I haven't
videos.
today. Right, I'm going to go different. I'm going to go do-do-do-do. Do-do,
Yeah.
do-do, 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 do-do. Because I was thinking of
Yes.
Pink Panther theme. There we are.
Yeah, I was just going to say though, when you started thinking of the Pink Panther theme, did you start sort of sneaking around and pretending to be very suspicious as you were doing it?
Like a serial.
Yes, I was. Yes, exactly. My fridge didn't even see me coming. It was like, whoa, what are you doing? Well, the weird thing was, I was humming it this morning, and then I went to the gym, and they were having a like a step aerobics thing with kids on,
Right.
and the bloody Pink Panther theme came on. I was like, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, oh, it's not the sort of tune I would have thought of for an exercise session, but
Well, it was the exercise session with kids, so they had all that sort of kids. So they had like the Pink Panther, they had Mission Impossible, the Simpsons theme. But yeah. So anyway, what do you two? What are your iconic film themes?
I mean, my immediate thought was the theme tune to The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, as a classic. Yes, indeed. You know, I always think of that whenever I turn up at your house and I'm like standing on the threshold of your doorstep, eyeing you across the room, Phil. About to draw pistols. Yes, indeed. Any others actually I can think of, just off the top of my head, that any that haven't been mentioned.
Lord of the Rings soundtrack, clearly.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
good one. Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah. Specifically for me with Star Wars, it's the Imperial March, though. Whenever Darth Vader turns up, that one.
That's a good one. I like the
Yeah.
main theme as well.
Yeah, indeed. What about you, Connor? Any good ones that you can think of?
Well, as I said, Lord of the Rings is my favourite.
Yeah.
that your favourite iconic one? Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose Harry Potter as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Actually,
There's some. Okay. And the other question I had was, we have done a cert on it specifically for it, Andrew.
Yeah.
Be good to hear on as well. Like favourite, doesn't have to be favourite, but top video game soundtrack.
Ooh.
So it could be the main theme of the video game, or it could be a score inside the game which you found really good.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some games I can think of with great tracks in them. Obviously, like Beyond Good and Evil, an old favourite of mine, just has some generally really nice musical tracks in it, including some action ones and then some more peaceful and serene ones. What else? Danganronpa games, I sometimes really like some of the soundtracks in those ones, particularly like the main theme, how they sort of do a different spin on it with each game. God, what else? I mean, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb has some great sort of inclusions of the theme actually in some of its in-game soundtracks, which is really, really good. But yeah, it's just some quick fire answers to that one.
Yourself, Connor?
Okay, quick fire. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 14.
There you go.
So I'm getting an idea that you might like Final Fantasy. I mean, there are some signs there.
Yeah.
I do, but the soundtracks are impeccable. I cannot state enough how good they are.
What about Final Fantasy 18? I mean, have you
soon.
not looked into the future and seen what the soundtrack was? Come on.
If the composer will be the same, then yes, they will be very good.
I think for me, one of the best top themes has got to be the main theme for Skyrim,
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
Dragonborn. Yeah,
absolutely.
that's really really good. Some of the soundtracks. Oh my god, some of the soundtracks in Everybody's Gone to the Rapture though.
Yeah.
That is
They're
some of
pretty
those are absolutely phenomenal. Some of them are really really phenomenal, especially with that. I don't know who's the singer. I think it's Julie Elven is her name.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, there's some great selection actually just there. So, indeed.
What's the most iconic video game soundtrack you can think of? It's got to be It's got to be the Super Mario Brothers theme, isn't it?
Yes.
Tetris.
Tetris. Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
8-bit
Tetris.
version of Katusha, yeah. Absolutely. Well, there you go. That was the Q&A then. Yeah, nice big sort of hour and 45 minutes-ish. Nice big episode there. So now I'll just have to edit in all the questions and overlay them as we go along, which is fun.
Yeah,
I can
it's
do
nice.
that.
Well, that's our fourth, isn't it? Is that? Yeah, it's our fourth Q&A
Yeah.
with me and you, Andrew, and our first Q&A with Connor. Yes.
Yeah, it's been great answering your questions, and hope to answer many more in another 100 episodes time. If we do
Yes.
another Q&A.
Episode 700. Yeah, imagine
Indeed,
that.
yeah. All right, well, thanks for joining me then, you two. It's been good to speak to you both, and we'll start wrapping up things here. So, Facebook and Twitter
Indeed.
links are down below, along with the link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, a like is, of course, always appreciated. And it's goodbye from myself, Elvis Presley. Goodbye, everybody. I'm tired of talking. It's goodbye from 98-year-old sociopath Philip.
Oh, I'll see you later, Sonny Jims. Just don't forget that it's nice outside and I've got lots of Fox's mince for you all.
And it's goodbye, of course, from Connor, who's supposed to be able to see into the future to see the soundtrack of Final Fantasy XI.
Excuse me?
You've stolen
You're not
Phil's
allowed
thing.
Well, you're not allowed to do that. No, sorry, that's illegal. No, right. 999. Hello, police. Hello. Yes, he's stolen my song.
Hello,
Arrest him and
police.
take him to jail right now. Right now. Come on, police, hurry up.
Okay, I'm on my way very fast, Phil. Goodbye, everybody. Learn to jump off to do perhaps. Whoop! Never mind, you can't. Oh, wait. Ah, you bitch. Oh. I think. Yeah, he just jumped to his death. Like an absolute idiot. There we go. That's how you do that one. At least we took the lower route. Did you hide anything over here? Looks like you did. Is that good? It's a Dobson. Hell yes. Thank you very much for that. That's much better. Get some health. But yeah, like I say, Luffy's tutorials, they're for beginners, very much. People who are completely new to mapping and GTK Radiant. But obviously, there's a lot of advanced techniques with RTCW map making, which Luffy's tutorials don't cover. So things like, for example, custom textures.